Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Dugout Football channel and welcome back to another episode of A Chat With. And tonight's guest is a very, very special guest. It is the lovely Sophie Richards to talk all things Manchester United. How are you doing, Sophie? I'm
very well, thank you, Doug. How are you doing? Is it warm up in Scotland? Because it's absolutely roasting here, I've got to be honest.
Yeah, it's about 23, but that's not been the warmest. It's been about 25, 26. When we were up at Glencorse Reservoir the other night, it was about 28. So
I think it's 28 or 29 here right now as we're speaking. I'll double check it, but it's 30 degrees now. It's 30 degrees where I am.
Oh my goodness.
Melting. It was 31 the other day at work. It was torture. 30 degrees now. Crazy.
Wow.
So if you can hear a fan in the background, I apologise. There is a fan in the background.
No, I'm pretty sure. I can't hear any fan as well. Even to Cedric, even to James Dunlop and GB. I hope everyone is doing very, very well. So 22 days until the new season starts. What are your upcoming thoughts ahead of the new season?
I can't wait for it, to be honest, Doug. I cannot wait for it. We all love football, obviously. We had the Euros not long ago. Olympics are on now. Like, football's football, isn't it? Like, I'm just happy to be watching football. And I think seeing some of the friendlies, I know it's a friendly, but we played Derby the other day, and just seeing the team back out, United shirt back out, yeah, it's just a nice feeling. So everyone loves club football, don't they? So, yeah, I'm buzzing, to be fair, especially if we make the signings that rumours are we are going to make. So, yeah, I'm excited. I'm always excited for the new season. It's normally a few games in there and I'm thinking, what was I looking forward to be fair? But, yeah, I'm excited right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I just can't wait for it all to start again, to be honest. And what a game to kick things off with Leeds United. I mean, if there's a first game of the season to look out for, that's one for certain. Two teams who absolutely despise each other, and that's 12:30 on the Saturday. That'll be a good one to kick things off.
Definitely. I mean, like I say, I'm buzzing for them, excited, and what a way to kick it off. The rivalry as well at Old Trafford with fans in there. Yeah, I hope that place is absolutely buzzing. It should be. Fans back in stadiums after so long. I just hope that we make the start, obviously, and start the way they mean to go on. That's the saying, isn't it? Start as you mean to go on. Hopefully we do that. But Leeds are going to be up for it as well. There's no easy game in the Premiership. We know that. But yeah, I'm buzzing for it.
I think we all need human-sized fridges. It's like a desert here in Merseyside. Oh,
so
James.
Hot, yeah. Honestly, I feel you, James. I feel you.
Hello to Liz Golden. Hello to Mike as well. Curlers is in. Hello, Curlers. United being an actual signing yet? Shakes my head. Yeah, obviously there is one.
Tom Heaton. That's an actual signing.
Yeah, Tom Heaton.
He did all right.
Actually, let's talk about transfers, shall we? Because obviously, as we said, your first in is Tom Heaton, but I have put in brackets Jadon Sancho. My question to you is, when do you think the Jadon Sancho deal will be announced?
I said to you, we saw pictures on Twitter of Sancho looking really old and whatnot. People saying he's going to look like this by the time he signs. And as every day goes by, I'm feeling that's more and more likely. I think there's been some confusion with paperwork or whatnot. Look, it's definitely going to happen. I think there's no doubt about that. But it is Manchester United, so you never know. But yeah, it's just mind-numbing. Obviously, we want to see him in a United shirt. We want to all have that just weight off our shoulders because it's like 2 years coming now. I banned the S word off my channel because I was sick of saying Sancho. And when it was announced, Fabrizio tweeted, "Here we go." You're thinking, that's it. We've got to hear the last of it now. It's done. It's dusted. And now we're just waiting so long for the announcement. It's just everything with this transfer, everything possible has just been dragged out. And we should be moving on now to other signings. It's just frustrating. But obviously, it is done. So we can relax in that sense. But the announcement, I want to see him in a shirt. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see an Eddie. I want to see actual Sancho in a shirt.
I know you banned the S word, but is it time to ban the V word, Varane? Do you think that will go through?
I don't know. I was really excited. Obviously, like I said, Fabrizio tweeted about it and whatnot, and everyone said it's more and more likely and whatnot. But then last few days, it seems to have been changing the other way. It seems less convincing. The stories are there's rumours that obviously the personal terms are agreed. It's just about the clubs coming to meet and come to an agreement basically with a fee. Rumours are 50 is what they want. We're offering 45. I don't know. Surely we can't be haggling over that. I'm hoping that it still happens. I'm hoping that we are just slowing it down so that maybe Madrid just accept what we want to pay them, and it's just a bit of mind games. That's what I'm hoping it is. But we've seen it the other way as well. We can bite you on the arse where you dilly and dally, and then he goes and signs a new deal at Real Madrid. And I wouldn't put it past that as well. But fingers crossed it does come through. But it's just frustrating. But some of the names we've been linked to, it's hard to not get excited as a United fan, to be honest with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Varane deal is a no-go for me after Real Madrid slashed their depths as by Magic. He is a no-go. Josh, thank you very much for the super chat. You did not have to do that, my friend. Treat yourself to a cheeky burger. Much love. Thank you very, very much. Yeah, guys, if you want to, I don't obviously offer you to do anything like that, but there is a wee dollar sign. Just do it if you like. But thank you very much, Josh. I really do appreciate that as well. When is the transfer window closing? The 31st of August, I believe. The 31st of August. JB is saying Varane will happen, no doubt.
I hope so, JB.
Last week, Sophie just said yes, but now we're all worried. Yeah, absolutely. Sancho wouldn't lace Andrews Townsend's boots. Just joking. Yeah,
I think that's a decent signing. I think
that's a great signing.
And Gray as well. I think they're both decent signings. I really do. I know there's been a lot of memes about it and stuff, but I actually think that they're both. I think Gray, whenever I saw him at Leicester, I think in spells he looked very talented. And like I say, Townsend's just been a really consistent player in the Premier League, hasn't he? I think he's a good signing, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. So obviously, Tom Heaton. Obviously, you've lost Sergio Romero, but you still do have Mr. De Gea and Mr. Henderson. Now, you're Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at the start of the season, or Solskjaer, I should probably say. Who'd you start in goal?
De Gea for me. I think he still deserves that number one. I really do. Personally, what I think will be is another season of De Gea, and I think after that, I think De Gea will go elsewhere. I think we'll have one more season of De Gea as number one and Henderson rotating. But then after that, I think Henderson or another keeper will become that number one. But for this season, I still see it as being De Gea. I think he deserves to be number one still.
And you happy with the signing of Tom Heaton? I mean, Blade Grant moves to number 4 goalie, but he seems to do well by the substitutes board.
Yeah, I can't understand. I'll be honest, I don't really understand it. I like Heaton. I think he's a very good goalkeeper, but I just don't understand the logistics of why we've done that. And obviously, still got Lee Grant. I don't get it. But I do think he's a good keeper and a decent signing. I just don't understand the Lee Grant situation, if I'm honest. I just don't get that. Holding, like you say, number boards up. That's all I've seen of him, really, other than the second half the other day.
Yeah. Josh has just commented, if you need a DM, Bakayoko or Drinkwater is free. I'll take a bag of crisps. Yeah, I don't think they'll want Drinkwater, to be honest. Yes, I think you need one more to be a shoo-in for the tip. Oh, that's I don't know about the Sol. I honestly, Liverpool Twitter pages are going off like a rocket right now. So I'm just trying to stay off Twitter. Anyway, as far as outgoings are concerned, obviously I've only got 3: Sergio Romero, Joe Pereira. Let me be honest. When Joe Pereira was at Hearts in Scotland, I didn't think he was that great. So I'm quite glad you've got rid of him. And Tahith Chong is another one. I know he scored against Derby in that friendly, but he's going to Birmingham City. Is that a good move for him?
I think so. Hopefully he can shine there as well. Obviously, he's been playing abroad, but I'm probably like most United fans. I don't watch a lot of abroad football. Every now and again I will, but I think in the Championship I'll keep more of an eye on him, and I'm hoping that he blossoms. I think we've seen in spells, very talented. I think at times he's looked a bit lightweight and whatnot. So playing in a competitive league like the Championship, I think it can only bode well for him, really, and hopefully he shines there.
Yeah, definitely. Josh, we will give you a bag of crisps for Kante or Jorginho. That's a good swap. And Phil Jones is still at United, which is mental. Yep.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll trade that. We'll get a bag of chips and Phil Jones for Jorginho or Kante. We'll do that deal.
As far as any other outgoings are concerned, who do you expect to go out of Manchester United?
Good question. Obviously, there's a lot of question marks over Pogba now. PSG obviously want Pogba. 50 million, I believe, is the price. There is the danger of his contract running out and getting nothing for him. That's a really interesting one. I hope that bringing the likes of Varane in will entice Pogba to stay, obviously, along with Sancho. But yeah, Pogba's a big one. If he goes, will I be too disappointed? No, as long as we get a replacement midfielder in. If we don't, then I'll worry for our midfield. Obviously, we can get Varane, we can get Sancho, but if we sell Pogba after that and don't replace him, then for me, it's not been a successful window. I still think we need to replace Pogba if he does go. And we are looking at players. Obviously, Camavinga's been mentioned. I think he would be a good replacement. Sol's even been mentioned to us, but I know that's unlikely. I think, what happens. His name is just mentioned just for the sake of it. Goretzka's been mentioned, another midfielder, obviously, you would love to see. So it depends, really. If Pogba goes, for me, we have to sign another midfielder. Martial is another one as well. Obviously, didn't have a great season last season. He's been injured and whatnot. A lot of people are writing him off and saying we're going to sign someone like Haaland next season. Cavani, obviously, has got a season. Greenwood will move to that number 9, you should say. In time, he'll want to play a more central role. So I think Martial is an interesting one. I think he has to do well this season. If not, he's another one I think we'll go. I do think we'll keep him through this window, though.
This man, Lingard, what's happening with Lingard? Apparently both West Ham and Everton seem interested.
See, before he played that friendly the other day and whatnot, and before obviously we saw the pictures of him training, there was tweets saying that he wasn't being photographed, and obviously that points to the fact that he's going. But then for him to play and then come out and say he wants to fight for his place, and for Ollie to say that he wants to stay and fight for his place, I think he's really interesting. If we can keep hold of him and keep him as a rotation player, I think he's a very good sub to have, a very good squad player to have. But I think he's at that point in his career now where I would be looking at first team football and wanting to start every game. He's not going to get that at United. So if a decent offer does come in for him, I think he'll go. But right now, I can't see him leaving. I don't think we've had a good enough offer. And I think he'll stay and be a rotator, like a squad player.
I think you meant both, Josh, but I will take that. I have to pop now to record for the Blue Podcast. Best of luck to you both. Make sure to sub to Hug. I think that meant both. I've already hit the like button. Thank you very much. Neves also hotly tipped, says curlers as well. I think Neves would be a very good signing.
If Pogba goes, definitely. I think right now we need a proper CDM. He's Neves that out-and-out CDM. I'm not so sure, but he's a good ball player. We've seen he scored bangers, in particular against us. Very young. He's a leader as well. 35 million, I think, he's being tipped roughly. So I think that would be a very good signing. I agree. Do I fully believe it? No, but I would take him definitely. I would be happy with that signing. And my dad would hate it as well. So that makes it even better. Yeah.
I was about to say, I don't think Sean would be too pleased to hear that. Jesse's saying I should put money on that. What a joke. To be honest, if he can get his form back from his West Ham days, then maybe he'll be a very, very good squad player for you guys.
Exactly. I agree. I think he would be a good squad player.
Hello, GT.
Be up to GT.
Do you see Ollie using Jesse more? Will he freeze Lingard out again?
I think he'll be a squad player. I think you saw, especially at times last season, you look at like the Europa League final and games like that where Ollie didn't make subs and he was criticised, and rightly so. But at the same time, I think you looked at bench and you're thinking, who's going to bring on that boost of energy? Who's going to run between the lines? Who's going to be creative? And I think Lingard is that guy, isn't he? I think he's a very good squad player. Yeah. Is he good enough to start every game? No. But he's definitely good enough to come on and make an impact from the bench. So as long as Jesse's happy with that role, which I don't think he will be, but if he is, then I think he'd be a very good squad player.
There's a couple of funny wee comments. Bristol Rovers have supposedly signed Marquinhos in a deal worth a 12-pack of Apple Ribena. And James Donald, give us Salah, we will give you McTominay. And then James has replied, Sasha, not a chance. And then he's gone, you can have Delph, though. Camavinga, those kind of rumours have gone a wee bit quiet, haven't they?
They have, and I think it's one of them. We're not in a major rush to sign him, and I think that's the way it is. I think it's pretty evident that we're interested and we're watching and we're monitoring that situation. But if it is true that obviously he doesn't see his sights on the Premier League, maybe he's looking more towards PSG, then I can kind of understand you don't put all your eggs into one basket. I think we've tested the water there. We've seen that it's a potential deal. If his head's turned, then I'll definitely go for it. But again, I don't think we're in a major rush for that one. I really don't. If Pogba goes, then I feel like that deal will speed up. I think it all depends on what happens.
Yeah. Oops, a daisy. Yeah. I was just about to come to Mr. VDB.
It's back training today. I know that.
Oh, okay.
Back training. Yeah. So
interesting.
I hope Donny gets more game time next season. I hope that he can prove his worth. Let's be honest, when he did get chances last season, he didn't really set the world alight. But at the same time, I kind of felt for him in a new league and not really having a run of games as well. It's tough, isn't it? I'm hoping that was kind of his taste of season, if you like, and this season will be his breakthrough. Because he's a very good player. I'm just hoping that we can utilise him the way that he should be used, really.
Yeah, surely Man United will let someone go with so many players in attack now. Any chance Martial, as he looks not so happy?
Yeah, it could be. As I mentioned earlier, Martial, I do think we'll keep him unless a substantial offer comes in for him. But I do feel it's make or break for him now at United. I think he's been so inconsistent. Like saying flashes, we've seen how much of a talent Martial is, but I'll call him Anthony Partial for a reason. He's in and out of games too much for my liking. If he can be consistent this season, I would keep him. If not, for me, then I think he'll go.
Very, very interesting. And yeah, I'm surprised you keep them both De Gea and Henderson, to be honest. But then again, I suppose that, De Gea hasn't played at the Euros, and let's be honest, I think he should have been starting over Unai Simon anyway.
That mistake that he did. Oh my God. And if I'm Pedri in that situation and that own goal is given in my name, I'll be absolutely fuming as well. That's the keeper's fault. That's not his fault. I'm
surprised he didn't appear in one of your hairdryer treatments.
He did. I think it was my first one, I thought I've got to talk about that. Yeah. He's got to be on that. Yeah, he was on it. Hairdryer treatment. But you're plugging it there, Doug. You take it at 7 o'clock. If you're interested in watching the hairdryer treatment, 7 o'clock.
I did actually mean that. I did actually mean to do a wee plug there. Is it a make or break season for Ollie? He's still yet to win anything as United manager.
I think if he brings in Varane, what's been talked about, and midfielder as well, I think there's no excuses for Ollie. He's obviously had the backing, he's got the personnel, and I do think then he has to prove his worth. Yes, I do. I said all along he deserved this transfer window. He deserved to be backed, and we'll judge him on that. Because I think at times personnel last season we were a bit thin on the ground. He'd let him down in terms of quality. But yeah, if he doesn't win anything with the likes of Varane and that coming in, if they come in, I'm not saying they are. Definitely he deserves criticism for sure.
He sure did. Soph nailed him. Very funny. Hello to Bits and Bobs. Hope you're doing well, Bits and Bobs. Hope you're doing very well. Now, let's get into your first 6 fixtures. So you start off with Leeds United, then you play Southampton, and then you're away to Wolves. So father versus daughter. Newcastle at home, West Ham away, and then Aston Villa at home. So not a bad first 6, I would say. How many points are you expecting to get through those first 6?
Maximum points. I'm going all in. I told you. But listen, and the build up to the season, I'm so excited. I'm actually buzzing. And a few games in, I'm just like, I've had enough now. When's the World Cup starting? Because I'm just sick of seeing United play. So, yeah, I'm going to go optimistic. For me, if we get the personnel in, there's no reason why we couldn't get maximum points from those opening fixtures. Genuinely, Wolves away is always a horrible one. I'm not just saying that on a personal note. I just think we never have good games at Molineux. It's just one of them. But Leeds is the biggest one, isn't it? Because we know first game of the season, he's still going to be a bit sluggish. It might come down to who's up for it more. They're really going to be up for it. I just hope that we can match that. But yeah, I genuinely feel we can get maximum. Someone said 16 there. That's not a bad check as well. Yeah,
JB says 16. United versus Leeds on opening day, let the carnage commence. Yeah, absolutely. If we get Varane and he continues to play Big Fred, I'm not going to say that word. I think Trippier and Varane share the same age. Yeah, Trippier. I would think he's going to be signing.
It's a weird one, Trippier, because it's kind of quiet. It's kind of just like mellowing in the background. Like every now and again, you'll see like a little tweet about it. You don't really hear too much about it, but I would take him, to be honest. I think he'd be good competition. He can play right or left back as well. He's proven that. I'm sure he'll want to add some trophies to his collection as well. So the idea of United coming back into the Premier League would be nice. Obviously, we need to win a trophy, of course. But my point is, I think he'll be enticed by the idea of that at the stage of his career. Obviously, he's gone to Spain. He's won the league there. I don't know. It's interesting. I think he'd be a very decent signing. I know there's a lot of United fans who wouldn't. But my personal opinion is that I would like him.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. Maximum points wouldn't surprise me. Can't see Manchester United starting cold. Curler said, yes, I'm actually for 15 minimum points wise. I think West Ham is awkward, but the rest should be easy. Yeah, look, West Ham, it'll be interesting to see how well they do in Europe as well. Obviously, they have made the group stages of the Europa League, so that's going to be very interesting. Kian, 0 points from United from 6 games would be delicious. Don't see them losing to Leeds. Don't see them losing to Southampton. No, don't see them losing any of those games. Wan-Bissaka is better than Trippier. Yes.
I think if you look at the Luke Shaw situation, sorry, Doug, to jump in there, but I think with Tellez coming in, we saw how much better Luke Shaw has been, and I do think the competition has helped him thrive. So I think the other side as well, Wan-Bissaka with Trippier coming in, I do think that could possibly push him to the next level as well. Trippier, is so good going forward. He's got a great right foot, good delivery. Wan-Bissaka we know needs to improve in that field. So I do think that the competition would be good. I'm not coming in saying Trippier will come in and automatically start over Wan-Bissaka. That's not what I'm saying. But I think competition is healthy, and that's why I would like Trippier.
Yeah, absolutely. So final 6 then. So Norwich City at home, Arsenal away, Brentford at home, Brighton away, Chelsea at home, Crystal Palace away. Now, when I look at those last 6, one fixture already strikes me is Arsenal away. You just cannot seem to beat the Gunners.
I hate playing against them as well, because that's like Twitter war as well, isn't it? As well as war on the pitch, it's Twitter war, social media war. I hate it. I have to go into like hiding for a few days after that game. Honestly, I just hope that Ollie can finally beat Arteta, because frustrating. That's one fixture I always look out for, the Arsenal fixture. Yeah.
And
Palace is an interesting one as well, because Vieira, like obviously that's kind of the unknown at the minute. It's hard to predict that one as well, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Chelsea at home. I remember that game. That was not a good game of football to watch. The 0-0 draw.
It was like the derby as well. The 0-0 derby.
Oh,
as well.
yeah.
Like that. A nothing game, wasn't it? Both teams not wanting to lose, basically.
That's 0 points from 6 for Arsenal. Yeah. We will come on to that. So obviously last season, Europa League finalists, second in the Premier League. Sancho all but done, and then obviously I've said Varane next. So my question to you is, what would be an acceptable position for Manchester United this season, or an acceptable season, I should say?
So Champions League, it's hard because we haven't made the signings yet. Obviously Sancho we know is done, but other than that, like I've got to predict this at the minute without Varane and that in the team, and it's really hard. It's really hard to do that. I think obviously we got second last season, but points wise, obviously we've got to go for the title, but points wise as well, we need to be closer to City at least. Like, we need to push City for the title. Liverpool obviously going to get Van Dijk back this season as well, so they're going to be there or thereabouts, you'd imagine. So in terms of the league, we've got to go for the title. Second again, obviously. A trophy. It's got to be a trophy. That's got to be the main objective this season. Above anything else, it has to be a trophy. Obviously, like I say, closer to City in terms of the league, we've got to go for the league. But it has to be a trophy. FA Cup, Champions League, Carabao, whatever it is, we need to get some silverware this season. Ollie needs to win something.
Are you still angry about that Europa League final? Because I've seen on Twitter there are a lot of United fans still unhappy about that Europa League final. We
just didn't play very well. It was one of them. Obviously, I was live on Don Robbie, so a lot of people probably saw my reaction live, and I was speechless. But it was one of them where, some days you just don't play well. Even first few minutes of the game, you already know you're not going to win this, and that was a feeling that I got throughout the whole final. I just had a feeling like we're not at it here. Like that they want this more than us. And it just felt like they were winning the first tackles, decisions were going their way. I'm not blaming the ref at all. We weren't good enough, but it just wasn't our night, unfortunately. And it just felt like that from the first bit. Obviously, De Gea I felt sorry for in terms of the penalties. But second we got to penalties, again, like I say, I already knew we weren't winning it. It just didn't seem to be our night. It is what it is. But I'm gutted.
Yeah, definitely. Here we go. That ain't happening. I can safely say that. Maximum 5 points from the first semi in Champions League. Okay. Champions League semi-final. I would have gone
quarter. I would have probably said quarterfinals, but
Arsenal on top of the table. Yes, alphabetically, but if you put it upside down, then Wolves are top of the table. So, your dad will be pleased with that. Third on the trophy, but it's all about who comes in and who goes. Funny you said third, actually. Funny you said thirds.
I agree with the statement. It's all about who comes in, because I think your expectations obviously change depending on the signings that you make.
Yeah. United's challenge for the league and winning a trophy is a must for Ollie. Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. Jamal laughing at me for some reason.
I think she asked me about the Europa League.
Oh, yeah, that's probably why. I have a hunch Man U will get to the Champions League final and the top two finish in the Premiership. Very interesting. We did not adapt fast enough in that game. And then 20 quality pens. Can't script that. Yeah, I'm not going to even say who the last penalty scorer was. It was a certain person that Sophie has lynched on one of her hairdryer treatments. It was Unai Simon. Hey, if it happened once on Football Manager, it can happen anywhere. Here's a good question from Jamal. Sophie, what points tally do you expect before the difficult October and November period?
I'll be honest, maths is not my forte, so I'm not sure what kind of numbers I'm talking here, but that period is worrying. I'd like to think that, look, we need to have a good start to the season. We need to have a run of games. We saw our away form was superb last season. We need to transfer that to our home form as well. We need to do better at home. Starting off at Leeds at home could be the best or the worst thing for us this season. Who knows? Because if you win that, obviously that confidence, you go off on a run. For me, it's important that we are, especially at the start of the season, we need to get a good run of games behind us, because that October-November period, as you've mentioned there, is really tough. But in terms of numbers, I couldn't sit here and tell you what we should be at, because like I said, I'm an English teacher, not maths, so quite frankly, I wouldn't know what to say. But I do think the start against Leeds, it's a big one. If we win that, then that's some good confidence, isn't it, going to the next run of games? So, yeah.
Definitely. United will surprise everyone and win the trophy, says Nipun. United in the Champions League final over the likes of Bayern, Madrid, Chelsea or Juventus. Now I can't say. Who would have thought the Man City and Chelsea would have been in the Champions League final last season? Yeah,
and Spurs made it off the season before as well. So you never know, do you? You never know in those competitions. Look at the draw, isn't it?
It is. It is indeed. It's all about form. With the right signings, you can turn over anyone, especially if Martial fires and DVB, Donny van de Beek. Yeah. Sign Ronaldo, please. I will shave my head if it happens. Come back home. I would imagine you would want Ronaldo home, but can you see it happening at all?
No, I can't see it happening. But obviously, romantically, I would love it. But is that go? That we're biased as United fans. We always say, "Oh, Ronaldo over Messi." For me, you've got to appreciate both of them. They're both superb in their own ways. But yeah, Ronaldo is the real GOAT in my opinion. I absolutely love him, and seeing back in a United shirt, like I say, romantically, it'd just be great, wouldn't it? But yeah, I don't think that's going to happen, unfortunately.
Yeah. So we do have a couple of questions. Football isn't that is what I want. If Ollie gets the players this summer, i.e., Varane, Trippier, and a CDM, Sancho is done, in my opinion. Does he need to win a trophy to keep his job?
I think so. I genuinely think silverware now is the next thing. Obviously, he's got semi-finals, and then he got to a final last year. The progress now is to go in and win a final, isn't it, and get a trophy. So yeah, I do think that has to be the main objective.
Yeah, definitely. United have a better squad than Juventus, Chelsea, and Madrid, though, with Varane. Yeah, I would agree with that. I would definitely agree with that. Luck of the draw in football, unless you're City, because then you're guaranteed to get Shakhtar.
So true. It's so true and so annoying.
So true. At times they get Shakhtar in the group stages as well. League position, I think United will finish 4th, says James. Very, very interesting.
I think you'd have to say Champions League football. It obviously needs to be secured as well. I've said that the trophy is a main objective, but obviously getting Champions League should always be an objective as well.
Yeah. Matt Johnson has asked, what do you think has stopped us getting over the line to win a trophy?
Mentality. I've said this for years at United. Mentality is a big, big issue. And I think that's what it is. I think certain players go into the shell on a big occasion. Or we've seen it we mentioned Chelsea game earlier, both teams not wanting to lose. Like we haven't got players who are willing to take that risk as such. Bruno, I think, is one of them players. Maguire coming in has added that extra leadership, but I do think there's certain personnel who hide on a big occasion. And I think mentality has always been an issue. Post-Fergie, I think that has always been an issue. So, yeah, I think developing that mentality, people like Varane coming in are only going to help that champion mentality, aren't they? And that's another reason why I'm all for Varane coming in, that experience. Yeah,
definitely. I agree. It's a big year for Ollie. And then again, who replaces him? Easy just to sack him, but who replaces him? Do you want to answer that, or...?
Roy Hodgson's free, isn't he? I'm joking. I'm not going to speculate because I'm trusting Ollie. I believe that we'll get something this season. And that's always my worry when you get rid of a manager, when you become a sacking club and you keep replacing, like, who's available to come in? Are they any better than what you've got? And I think it's one of them, isn't it? Like, it's a revolving door at most teams. It would be nice to see a team have a loyal manager and stick by their manager and actually come out the other side of that. I think you don't see that in football nowadays. And I just love that for that to happen with Ollie. I really would. But I do think this season is massive for him, especially if he gets the signings in.
Yeah. Shabani Bose, I hope I haven't pronounced that wrong. City, Liverpool and Chelsea have the manager you need to win titles and trophies. Agreed. So if leaders, and I would add squad quality. Try saying that if you're tongue-tied. He will stay in the job as long as he gets top 4 because that's the only thing the Glazers care about. Yeah, I mean, obviously you're not getting the new top. I must admit, it is one of the nicest United tops I've seen for a long, long time. the home one.
It's very nice. I have got it, and I'm not going to disclose where I've got it from. As you know, I'm Glazers out, and I haven't broken any rules within that. But it's a beautiful shirt. The player one in particular is beautiful. It's got a stripe down it, hasn't it? The long sleeve. You saw a picture of Rashford in it and Luke Shaw. I actually really like it. I like it. I do. It does feature on the hairdryer treatment later on. And I'm a fan of it. I've got to be honest. And I think it's because for so long I've hated that gold Chevrolet. No matter what the colour of the shirt was, that gold Chevrolet just ruined it. So I think regardless, I think the fact that that's gone, I would have liked any shirt this season, just because that's been the bane of my life for so many years now. I've hated it. So for that to go, I think I was always going to approve, to be honest with you. But yeah, I like it. It's simple. It's very simple. People say bland, but I kind of like that. I think it's very simple, and yeah, I'm a fan.
I think it's one of the best in the league. In all honesty,
I like it. When you see the socks with it as well, beautiful.
Our home top. I'm not going to say anything. I don't like it. I've got the away one this season. I think the away one's more better than the home one. If they do sack him, it has to be Simeone for me. Would you want? He's a good manager, but his style of football is not the best.
That's the way I feel, to be honest with you. I think that he's a bit too defensive. I think in terms of mentality and breathing leadership and obviously the champion experience there as well, I think yes, but I saw the football for me. I want to be entertained. I want to be entertained. And I know at times we're not entertained at Ollie, and I'm hoping with the personnel changes that improves. But yeah, Simeone for me is just not one name that I've always thought, yeah, I'd like to see him at United. I've just never felt that connection with him.
Sophie, are you worried there are no links to a DM, your position your team needs to address? I'm a Chelsea fan. I'm worried of a lack of signings right now.
I'm not worried yet. United aren't really fast at completing transfers. Sancho 2 years on and we're finally signing him. And it seemed with the Varane talks like they were kind of moving and it was feeling like we were doing our business fast and at the start of the window for once. Obviously, that's not going to be the case by the looks of it now. But I do feel like we're not the fastest in terms of transfers. There's still time before the end of the window. I still think we'll get signings in. Obviously, Camavinga's been talked about. Goretzka's been approached as well. I do think we are looking at midfielders, but nothing obviously is confirmed at the minute. I believe once Varane is done, if it gets done, then we'll probably move on to another position. But it seems that all of our energy at the minute is going on, one, finding the memory stick so we can announce Sancho or whatever happened there, and two, sorting the brand deal.
Memory stick. I do like that. Well said, so the mentality from all players and their coaching staff is key. I don't like our away one either. Oof. I think it's a lovely kit. Hello to Rich Sports. So you're doing well, Rich. We can sign Simeone and I will dance on cam then. So clip this.
Screenshot
that. Yeah. Very, very interesting. Hopefully we're closer next season, says Rich Sports. Jade asking, Rich, are you following me? Seem to be panicking. Imagine if Varane falls through. That would be, especially when you've been so well. I don't know who to believe. I mean, you've got Romano to fall back on, but none of the British press I can. Okay, James Pearce, Melissa Reddy for Liverpool Athletic as well, but none of the big papers.
I think it's one of them though. I think we're being a bit apprehensive, and I actually can't knock our board on that because obviously we saw it in the past. Ramos all talks. He wants to come to United. He wants to move. He wants to leave Real Madrid. He's not going to sign his new deal and whatnot. Our name gets mentioned. We get sucked in, and then all of a sudden, oh no, I'm staying. I want to sign a new deal. So I can see why United are being apprehensive about it. I can see why we're kind of holding out. But for me, 50 million, if that's true, that's what they're asking for, in this current climate, for me, that is an absolute bargain. And I wouldn't even be haggling over that 5 million. If it is true that we are haggling, they genuinely must believe that he does want to leave and that Real Madrid are going to come to a point where they need to make a decision. Are we going to accept this money or are we going to risk letting this player go? So, yeah, I don't know. I can understand why we're being apprehensive. That's what I want to say. But of course, I want to get this deal done as soon as possible because I think he would be a fantastic signing. Like I say, I would pay that price for him if I had that much money.
Yeah, here's a question for you. Who gets benched when Varane signs, Lindelof or Maguire? For me, it's Lindelof.
Lindelof, definitely. Maguire in the Euros was... Don't get me wrong, Lindelof, I thought, had a decent Euro campaign. But Maguire was outstanding in the Euros. I think he's finally starting to prove his worth. And it just shows that he's playing alongside Stones. Very good centre-back. I'm not saying Lindelof isn't good, but for me, Varane is the next level, isn't he? I think playing alongside someone like Varane, his experience, his pace, I think will complement him nicely as well. I just feel like that would be the perfect combination. I really do. Lindelof, I think, would be more of a rotation.
Yeah, definitely.
We've still got Boye as well.
Yeah, I know. Doing bits out in Japan for his Ivory Coast, which is always nice to see. You notice how Koulibaly's been. Oh, jeez. Do not get me started on Kalidou Koulibaly. Every single summer, without fail, it's Liverpool linked with Kalidou Koulibaly. Liverpool linked with Kalidou Koulibaly. Just get a grip. What is it? Napoli were probably like 90 million or something. Not happening.
Yeah.
Not
No.
happening. And what number does Varane get if he signs?
4 for me. 4. Phil
4.
Jones. Phil Jones. How is he keeping that shirt number? Phil Jones. Like, yeah. I don't know. I'm going to get too much into it, but surely he can't sit there at the side, having constant physio, practicing his corners or whatever Phil Jones does in order to get injured. I don't know, but surely he can't sit there and think that he deserves to have a starting number like a number 4. Like, surely, like Varane comes in and takes that off him. Like, you can't expect to be having a number like that.
This is a good question. What's your take on Rashford? I seriously think the guy needs a break. He hasn't looked fit for nigh on 3 years.
Yeah, I completely agree. He needs a break. Obviously, he's having his surgery, which I think is the right thing for all parties. And I'm just hoping that he comes back stronger from that surgery. But I do think he's needed a rest now. And he's needed some treatment for a while, hasn't
he? Yeah. 50 million for Ben White. Come on, Varane is a steal. Yeah, absolutely. Lindelof, I've binned him over. Oh, Jesus. Okay then. We like doing that. Anyone else wondering the name on the back of the Bulls jersey? Oh.
This is like a retro one, and I've got Jadon on the back of it. Had to be Jadon.
Had to be.
Yeah.
Mike. Yeah, absolutely. What do you make of reports? Ollie's going to the 4-3-3.
I'd like it. I've already said, like, at times Ollie's football hasn't been the most entertaining, and maybe he's going to switch it. I've already said personnel is a reason why. I think we've been a bit more hesitant, would you say? A bit more defensive. Hopefully with the likes of Sancho coming in, then we'll see. But yeah, no, I think that 4-3-3 suits us, but I also think you need a plan B. I think at the times we've seen Ollie stuck to his system and we've needed to rotate, and we haven't really been able to do that. I think having two systems would suit us. So yeah, I like the idea of it.
Yeah. Another question from Nipun. Will you be going to any games this season?
Yes, I will. I'm still going to support my team. I know Glazers out. Like I said, I'm not going to buy any merchandise or anything like that. But look, for my channel, you know that I'm all about going to games. I'm all about mixing with the fans. I will still go to games, but I still condone. I'm not going to buy any merchandise or anything like that. I'm not going to pay any extra other than going to support my team. That's all I'm going to spend money on. I won't even get a drink there. I'll put it that way. I'm literally going to have a ticket, and that's it. Because for me, at the end of the day, I love my team. You can't take that. Yeah. The owners despise, but I love the team, and I'm still going to support my team.
There's a question here on Twitter. I'm just going to go into my my Twitter. Who will be Mank's leading scorer come May?
Cavani. I'm going to go for Cavani. I hope it's Cavani anyway, just because I like Cavani.
I thought you were going to say Cavani, actually. Funnily enough,
Bruno has to be in with a shout. Bruno has to be in with Fernandes, as people like to call him. He has to be in with a shout.
Yeah, definitely. Reese, a good friend of the channel. What does Ollie and the team need to do this season to win a trophy? Is it mental block stopping the players, or just avoid lapsing concentrations?
I think it's a bit of a mixture. I think there is a mental block at times. I also think that comes to the coaches as well. We've never, obviously, with the coaching staff we've got now, the new squad, own goals, Andrew. I don't know. I think we haven't really experienced. We haven't got that winning feeling yet. Someone said glory hunter in the chat. Just when was the last time we had some glory? That's what I want to say. Surely I would have changed to Man City if that was the case. I'm not a glory hunter. I have to suffer the football we've suffered over the last few years. Witness Phil Jones taking corners. I've already mentioned that. So yeah, no, I'm not a glory hunter, but I do think that. Look. I don't know. I think it's hard, isn't it? I think looking at the season, without the signings, without knowing who we're going to sign, without seeing the likes of Varane coming in, it's hard to predict. But I do think, I expect we're going to be better next season. I think that there has been progress under Ollie. Yeah, it might have been slightly, and people that aren't always impressed with the football, but there has been progress. And we'll see. I agree with that statement as well from Curtis, by the way, about not hating fans who go to matches. That fans are still going to. If I don't go, someone else is going to take my seat. Let's be honest about it. It's like that at Manchester United, isn't it? They're always going to sell out. So people can hate all they want. I'm still going to support my team. But like I say, I'm not going to be buying any of the merch.
Yeah. So I do have another couple of questions for you just before we obviously go. For your ladies team, Kidderminster Harriers, any teams get promoted and relegated through the FA changing on structure?
We got promoted. Yes.
Oh,
Wolves
well
also
done.
got promoted as well. Yeah, so new season, new league for us. exciting. Talking about Kitty, obviously, you guys are probably aware that Manchester United are playing against Kidderminster in a friendly. Manchester United 11 is what I've said.
Oh, right. No.
On the 6th of August, I have been asked to do an Instagram takeover for Kitty Harry's that day, so I'm going to be there, and I'm really excited to be in and amongst it. So, yeah. But, yeah, they're playing against Kitty, so if anyone is at the match, you may see me there. Come and say hi, is what I'm going to say. But, yeah. I'm buzzing. Imagine if I get to meet some of the people. I'm really excited for that, and I'm honoured to be asked to do that. So, yeah. Keane said put Tommy to corners.
Well, who knows after Alisson Becker at West Brom? That's what I'll say. He's then asked, what have you made of Liverpool's ins and outs so far? To be fair, it has been pretty quiet on the transfer front.
Canate, you've got having your centre back. I think he's a decent signing. Obviously, he needs to stay fit. I think he's had a bit of a tarnished injury record, you'd say. He's had a few niggling injuries. Obviously, he's still fairly young. Yeah. I think that would be my only concern as a Liverpool fan. I think he seems a very good player, just keeping him fit, isn't it? But I think he's a good signing. Obviously, Sol is being spoken about. Would you like him? I think he he's a player, whenever I've seen him, he stood out. I think he's a very good player, if I'm honest with you. And I think he'd definitely improve your midfield. Obviously, with Wijnaldum going as well. Yeah,
definitely. Swansea just appointed Kidderminster as former manager as a new manager.
Have they?
Really?
I didn't know that.
That's John Eustace. Is it Eustace?
Is that actually confirmed? I did not know that. I'll have to check out that.
That's interesting. I'm stunned Liverpool have been quiet. Is this the sell to buy? Yes,
well,
absolutely.
I've seen rumours of Henderson supposedly being linked with Arsenal. Is that what do you read into that?
A lot of rubbish, honestly. I think once he gets back to training, I'm pretty sure he will be. Everything will be sorted. I can't see him leaving. I honestly can't see him leaving. I believe so. Yeah, it is John Eustace. Very interesting. Did play for Swansea, to be fair. He did play. Yeah. He did play for Swansea.
That's a bit of a step up, though, isn't it? That's a bit of a big leap, really. Interesting.
I think that's a very interesting one. Oh, we do have to have a Premier League question in there, don't we? Predictions for the bottom three.
When I haven't even seen Brentford kick a ball in the Premier League, Norwich, that's hard. No. Watford. I actually think if Southampton leave Ings, I think I'll be slightly worried at Southampton. I think they're an interesting one. I think they've had a few. I mean, they're conceding 9 goals in how many games, so that's a worry, isn't it? I think they're an interesting one. If they lose, Ings is a key player for them, and they'll replace him. Interesting. Palace, I think with Vieira is an interesting one because we don't know how Vieira is going to cope, and they've got a pretty aging squad as well. Obviously, Zaha is their key man, isn't it? But other than that, you think they need to invest as well.
I think the thing is, you'd have to argue that this season, anybody from Burnley, Brighton, Palace, Brentford, Norwich, Watford, Newcastle, could all go down. This is really open this season, so
it's hard. And we've actually seen the ball kicked as well.
I can't predict just now, in all honesty.
I can't. I'll mention lots of teams that I think could be at risk. So Newcastle, Southampton, as I've already mentioned. Obviously, the 3 that come up, I think that is always a risk, isn't it? They don't invest right in the summer. And you mentioned Burnley there as well. I think that's another one. But Newcastle, obviously, with the way that they're... I mean, it seems... I've said this to Kendall not long ago, and obviously I've got Jay, who's a good friend of mine who's a Newcastle fan. It feels like a ticking time bomb. They're just waiting to get relegated again before they're actually going to change anything about their club. That's what it feels like at the minute. They're just kind of just seeing the world pass by, just kind of ticking, I don't know, just kind of doing the same thing every season, loaning the odd player, not keeping them, selling them back, signing players who have got an injury record, so the main players will get injured, and then they're back to the same old personnel that they've been playing the last 2 seasons where they've just scraped the way through. I don't know, something needs to change at Newcastle, doesn't it, realistically, and whether it's Mike Ashley going, but if I'm a Newcastle fan, especially with the lack of signings so far, you've got to be concerned. So that's one I would say at risk.
Yeah, I would say. Keane is saying Brentford, Norwich and Watford, same 3 who came up, will go down. Andrew Williams is saying Norwich, Watford and Burnley. Interesting. Carlos is going for an interesting one. I swear down Arsenal, unless miracles happen, will be in the bottom 5. Palace, Wolves
is not a bad shout.
And Norwich.
Wolves got a very small squad, and again, unless they invest heavily, obviously, hopefully Jimenez comes back and is in the form that he was in before his horrible injury, because I think he's a great striker, and they missed him massively last season. But getting a new manager in, again, don't really know how he's going to cope in the Premier League. We don't know how really he's going to invest. I know they've signed like Trinko and a few other players, haven't they? But I think
and this is a good point as well.
I've had this conversation with my dad. I've had the conversation about Wolves. They lost, obviously, Jota, Jimenez last season. We agree with that. Patricio's gone. Nuno is a big one, obviously, as well, because he was created something so special at Wolves as well. I don't know. It's all kind of up in the air at Wolves, isn't it? It's all change, and we don't know whether the change is for the better or what at the minute. So there's going to be a lot of question marks over Wolves.
God help Burnley. If they do with that new ownership, they might end up falling apart. I think Burnley are going to stay in the league again. Burnley are going nowhere as long as they are patient, not demanding style of play from Sean Dyche, Norwich, Watford, and Newcastle. Yeah, I mean, I've not interviewed everybody yet from every club, but the ones I have, I interviewed a Watford fan, and he was saying they've got 9 strikers on the boards there. So you need extra firepower in this league, but I think 9's going a little bit excessive. So I can see them.
They've got literally the number 9 to a different extent, haven't they? They've taken it to another level. They've gone actually for 9, not a number 9. They've gone for 9.
Norwich, Palace, Burnley. Diego, if you're still in the chat, you should be defending Palace. I don't see Palace going down.
I just think with Palace, it's just a question marks over the new manager. I think that's what it is. I personally don't see them going down, but I can understand why there's that kind of unknown factor about them, isn't there?
I think they're building for the future as well. I think they are definitely building for the future. Wolves ain't going down, let's be honest. Jose Sa's a decent keeper, but I don't think he's on Patricio's level. How many managers will Watford go through this season? There's always one.
No, I'm going to say 9. I'm going to say 9. Same amount as their strikers.
Could be very, very interesting anyway. But so just obviously conclude things that you're very, very excited for this season. You're hoping for a trophy at least, and at least a good run in the Premier League, a good run in the Champions League as well.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, quarterfinals earlier in the Champions League. Obviously, any further than that, I'll be absolutely buzzing with. I think we've got to qualify again for the Champions League in terms of our position in the Premier League. Ideally, first or second, of course. Like I say, when I say second, I mean closer to the first place spot, because that again would be progress. But I do think we should be going for the league, especially if the likes of Varane come in. There's no reason why we shouldn't. But yeah, a trophy has to be up there as well. We need some silverware. It's been far too long, hasn't it? So yeah, pressure on Ollie in terms of getting the players in and getting a trophy.
Well, at least you have stayed well to your tune as well of being like Ollie in and not changing your stance of being Ollie out. James Dunlop, last comment. I don't see Farke leaving Norwich. Nope, I don't see Farke leaving Norwich either.
I love how he talks though. I'll be interested to listen to his interviews because he just has an amazing accent, doesn't he? I love how he talks.
Who's the impressionist? Darren Farley does a good impression of Daniel Farke. Very, very funny.
I want to listen to an audio book read by him. Like, he's just got a great voice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he does.
I'm glad they're back just for that.
Yeah, yeah. I think I don't know about Norwich. I think losing Buendia is a bit of a blow. Yeah. Losing him to Villa, I think that's a bit of a blow. They have got Rashica from Werder Bremen, which is a good sign.
Cantwell as well, I think he's a good player. Yeah.
And
interesting.
Will we get the same Timu Pukki as we did the last time? But we shall see anyway. Sophie, it has been a lovely, lovely chat to get to chat to you about all things Manchester United. In 10 minutes, actually, go over to her channel because her hairdryer treatment. This is a very special one. I've been looking forward to this one as well. But where can we find you on the socials?
Thank you for having me, Doug. It's been an absolute pleasure as always. Thanks to everyone in the chat as well for the comments. At Sophie Richards on Twitter, at Sophie Richards with a kiss on the end of it on Instagram as well. And like Doug's already mentioned, Ladies in Red, my new episode of hairdryer treatment. It's literally less than 5 minutes long. They're short and snappy videos. I'd appreciate, guys, if you guys could head over there. 7 o'clock start. It'll be premiering. I'll be in the chat as well. And yeah, let me know what you think. But I am live as well at 8 o'clock on Ladies in Red. So be sure to come and say hi over there as well. And I'll be discussing all things United. Hopefully Sancho's announced by then, but unlikely.
Fingers crossed. Get Get the move on, Man United. Get the move on. But yeah, guys, thank you very much for watching. I will be back with another episode tomorrow. I did interview an Arsenal fan, so that's a very very interesting video. Wait for that one. I asked all things. I asked about Kroenke's. Asked about if Arteta doesn't start well, do the Arsenal replace him? But I won't go too much into detail. But I'll tell you that is one to watch out for. So I'll be out tomorrow at 12 as well. But we'll be back with another episode very soon. Until then, it's goodbye from both of us. And yeah, a big season ahead for United as well. See you later. Bye bye.